Hello everyone, welcome back. I know that I said that video number 16, which was kind of a recap of all the radiation treatments, was my final video in regards to this adventure that I've had with breast cancer. But it felt like I should do one more now that I am on the hormone therapy. Today marks 3 weeks of me taking the hormone therapy, just in case anybody else is in that same position and wants to know what is in store for them. Again, we are all different creatures and respond differently, so I will share my situation and let you have your own experience, but maybe this will give you a benchmark of sorts. So again, I am Tina, I'm 54. I was diagnosed at the start of the year with stage 1 curable breast cancer. Since that time, I had surgery. I've had a couple biopsies and all that kind of good stuff, and then had surgery about 2 months into it, or pretty close to that. And then from there, it was healing, and it wasn't just lumpectomy, but it was a full bilateral reduction as well. So I had my healing phase of things, and then I went into radiation. Radiation lasted for 16 treatments, which was over a 4-week period, 3 days, 1 week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then every day the following week, and the week after that, and then ended with a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So those are my 6 treatments. Then you wait for the cumulative effect of those treatments to kind of wane off, because they will accelerate for 2 weeks and then they will start to diminish after that. And as I sit here today, let me get this right, I'm coming up on my 6 weeks of being done with radiation. They gave me a little bit of a buffer before I began my hormone therapy, which is Tamoxifen, because I had my youngest graduating and I needed to co-host a couple parties in there. So I started my Tamoxifen 3 weeks ago today, just after I finished the parties on that Monday, and that gave me a week before graduation, to let it try to start to get into my system. So they said for about 2 weeks, and then you should start feeling what your new normal is. So I think I'm sitting with that. As I tell people, it's hard to really determine if I do have fatigue, where that's coming from. It could be getting through graduation time and, all of that, and hosting and family and just activities, and therefore now college orientation type stuff, or it could be a little bit of allergies out there, or it could be a little bit of perimenopause. So who knows? It could be the perfect storm of things that occasionally there's some fatigue. What I have noticed is that I just need to pace myself, and that may be my new normal, or maybe I need to, my body still had gone through things from the surgery and the radiation, and this, the scars are still healing, and I'm still working with those as well. So, it'll be interesting. I think my new normal will figure itself out and evolve over time, and I need to start rebuilding back, quite honestly. I've been, I'll get into the pacing yourself in a second, but I have found that I have a little bit of apprehension to certain workouts, and so I have scheduled myself with the mobility coach at the Cancer Care Center, the Dempsey Center. And the reason being is that I know workouts and I know how to do it, but there's a connection between up here and what we do with our bodies. And even though I know what workouts to do, there was still a lot of trauma done here, and I think I want to work with somebody who has seen a lot of people go through, especially women go through breast cancer, and kind of can give some tips as to a gradual start to that versus looking anything up online. My PCP, who I just recently went to see and is fantastic, has moved my body weights are great, or body weight workouts are great for my bone density as I go into perimenopause and into my 60s. But now, given that I've had radiation and that I'm on this hormone therapy and we need to monitor my bone density more so, she wants me starting with heavy weights. Now, I know heavy weights. I've done some CrossFit stuff years and years ago, a decade ago, but I haven't in a long time, and I don't think it's prudent for me to jump right to that, nor go to a CrossFit gym to jump right to that. I think I am going to take an easier approach and really lean on this mobility coach. So I have that scheduled for a couple of weeks out. She was actually scheduled for my first day of radiation at the same exact time, so I had to cancel. And then I thought, oh, I'm fine, but seeing that I'm not doing the workouts that I think I should be at this point, and are going to become a necessity for me, I may need some guidance there, which leads us into this. I have not done any counseling when it comes to this. You've seen my videos and seen kind of where I have been with this, but I've gotten to the point where I'm on the wait list right now to see a counselor at the cancer care place. Again, the reason that I'm not going to the person that was formerly my counselor for this moment is that these folks are dealing with people that have had cancer and have heard all the stories and are trained in that. And so I feel like maybe this is just an appointment or two, maybe it's 4 or 5, I don't know when it comes up. But I feel like here's where I am mentally, that I can tell you that I'm okay. And in fact, when I run into somebody, which I did plenty of times over graduation, people that either didn't know or hadn't seen me since the diagnosis, their first response is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it's like this overwhelming shot of energy toward you. And my natural instinct is to say, oh, no, it's fine. Look at me. I'm fine. I'm good. And then you get to the point that people are like, oh, I'm so glad you're done with this, and now things are back to normal. So it's this fine line of where we sit with wanting to make everybody feel, okay, I'm fine. Because for the most part I am, but it's not over either. And occasionally I may react internally to when people tell me, I'm fine, you're fine. Like, you're done with all your treatments, you're done through radiation, so you're good. Well, you know what? I'm going to be on a hormone blocker for 5 to 10 years. I don't know. And there's still, like, this is my new life. This is my new normal. And yes, I'm making peace with it and all that. But I don't need people to tell me I'm okay. And I'm starting to have a few reactions to that. So I feel like I need to work through that, because I'm trying to honor the fact that my body's been through something, and my mind and my spirit have all been through something. Even though, yes, like, for people that don't know, they wouldn't know, right? But there has been a shift, we'll say. So there's all that. So back to, let's see, the tamoxifen. So most of the side effects with tamoxifen are going to be somewhat similar to your perimenopause. I had a pretty easy time with perimenopause. I think I've talked about it enough in past videos, where I researched a bunch of natural things to do, and I was having hot flashes up the kazoo back in 2018, and whatever concoction I came up with, my hot flashes stopped within 2 weeks, and I have been free of them. I also tend to tell my household how fortunate we've been that I have not had these large mood shifts over the years with it. So I'm doing this as far as hoping that the tamoxifen will just be an easy transition, and maybe there'll be some of those same symptoms, because what they say are the hot flashes, the night sweats, the mood changes, vaginal changes, fatigue, hair thinning, weight fluctuations, and period fluctuations. All fun stuff. And I am knocking on the door of menopause, so meaning I am toward the end of perimenopause, and prior to even going on this, before this whole process started, I was already having large gaps in between my periods. So I'm already right there on menopause's door. So it will just be interesting for me. The purpose of the hormone blockers is to block the estrogen receptors, but when it does that, it's blocking in both the healthy and the cancer cells. causing those kind of normal cells to have hormonal changes. So that's what you see there. The other piece of it is that there are, what do they call them, inhibitors, and some of them are strong and moderate and not so much. So I think one of the stronger inhibitors are like the antidepressants. So like if you're on that, it can reduce the effects of the tamoxifen. So fortunately, I'm not on any of that, but it's kind of interesting to see. I'm sure that's like a balancing act because there's so many people that are on, receiving assistance from such medications. The one that jumped out to me as a moderate inhibitor was Benadryl, which again, not for me that I have it that much, but people do take that, if for acute type stuff, even if it's an allergy. Hopefully not for just straight seasonal allergies, but do you know what I mean? So there's different things that can reduce the impact that the tamoxifen can have as well. So you have to be careful of that. The other part is when to get back to the bone density, I went to see my primary care and she's wonderful. We were going to look at me having a bone density test once I get into my 60s, which is a little ways away. But given now that I'm knocking on the door of menopause, that I've had radiation done and my bones have been hit on this left side, and that I'm on tamoxifen. She wanted a baseline scan, a bone density scan, and so I had that last week. I don't have the results of that right now. I'm hoping they're fine at this point, and that will just give us, again, the baseline going forward so we can see what the impact of all this is. Excuse me. The other thing that she wanted a baseline of was my skin, because the tamoxifen, you become a little more light sensitive, and the sun can have an impact there. So we are scheduling me right now for a full body scan of my moles, of any markings on my body with a dermatologist, so we can have again the baseline for that. The one that she kind of threw out and wants me to research a little bit is, it was a calcification of our heart. There's a scan that you can do for that because of what I'm on and what I've been through. When I did the radiation, if you remember, took a deep breath, moved it out of the way, so there's that part that was good, but we just want to monitor that. So I may be going in for a scan. I guess that one typically isn't covered by insurance and stuff, so I need to decide, research a little bit and see if that's something I want to do, if the benefit is there, and decide if I want to pay for that. And then again, pace, it's finding the new pace of things. Like last weekend, everybody disappeared from my house, and not my job, but what I've always done is mowing our lawns, and I decided to tackle that, but I just took my time throughout a few hours. So I would mow for a little bit and then sit down and read and drink some water and have a snack, and then I would go clear because we had some tree work done and there were a bunch of limbs, so little ones, and so I'd pick all those up and get them in a wheelbarrow and take a break and then mow again. So I didn't even finish our entire property, but I got a good chunk and it was nice to get out there. But I just have to be okay with listening to my body and realizing that I might need to take it easy for right now on some of the stuff that I'm doing. The other thing is that I just wanted to bring up is that after radiation ended, probably about, a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I started getting more kind of tingling. And so I was asking, I had an appointment last week with my medical oncologist team, my surgical oncologist team, and was just asking about that and had kind of taken a peek at things. So our nerves, I had things cut off. The nerves were cut off, and kind of like little, roots out there. They're growing, and they grow about the size of a dime each month. So between 1 millimeter and 2. and they can reconnect too. So this is still happening for me, even though it's now, what did I say, 4 months post-surgery. You know, it takes breaks and it's fine, but then all of a sudden I'll get, not necessarily the big zingers, but I can feel it. The other piece is that I have to be really good about massaging the incisions, because that scar tissue gets really tough very fast. And so making sure that I'm doing that. I kind of got slightly lax because, one, the burn, and then and I won't say lax, but I wasn't having my same routine. And then the lotion that I use, I ran out of, and I needed to make it. And so, you know, whatever, a handful of days went by, I was using different lotion, but it wasn't the same. So anyway, that's kind of interesting, the new tingles that hit me every once in a while. And I guess that's a good sign that my body's waking up and trying to do its reconnection. And then the other thing is just, excuse me, finding stillness and finding time to sit and be okay with that. And that I'm not necessarily good at that always, because I feel like I need to be doing more, but I'm realizing that I need to concede a little bit and find some peace in that, which I think we all could do in this crazy world right now. But it's interesting to me. It feels like almost when you're tired that it's easier to surrender, and that doesn't mean giving up. It just means the universe is taking us someplace, and just kind of go along for the ride a little bit. It'll be okay. And I think that's kind of what I want to share with you. This, I think, is the final video, unless something crazy comes up, or I'll just incorporate, you know, little updates into my other videos. But where this was new in the tamoxifen, my body seems to be handling it well. We have the preventative stuff in place right now. And, oh, I will leave you with this. So this is my tamoxifen right here. And each day that I take my pill, I put it in my hand and I talk to it. And I thank the people who created this and the people who were kind of the guinea pigs early on with it, right? Because this is going to extend my life. And I thank, you know, my doctor and her team for prescribing it and for teaching me about it, and the, you know, pharmacist for dispensing it, you know, they and their team, and for it going to block the hormones that I need it to block. But then I ask it, and I make it pinky swear, to leave me after that and to minimize my side effects or not have any side effects. And that is our arrangement. And I send love to it, and I send love to my water, and I drink it down. And thus far, I feel as though I am pleasantly surprised by the lack of side effects that I have had with this. And I am hopeful that that will continue on for the next 5 to 10 years. Fingers crossed. And that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. And this is a little bonus one for anybody out there. Again, I'll slide updates into my other videos. And yeah, so thanks for joining me for 17 videos. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you all take very good care of yourselves. We'll see you in the next video.